Everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Sugar Sweet. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a basic pound cake from scratch, and this is going to be a very detailed recipe, but I'm going to make it quick. So please listen to this video, that way you will may have some of your questions answered. Subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified of my uploads. So I have here in my bowl 2 cups of cake flour, and I sifted. I used my sifter. I sifted a bunch of cake flour 3 times, and after sifting it, I measured it. So to this cake flour, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to just use my tines of a fork to just whisk everything together. You can use a whisk. Now, if you're going to be using salted butter, you would not have to add salt to this, but if you're not going to be using salted butter, you will add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So we're going to set this aside. In the bottom of the stand mixer, I have here 6 tablespoons of salted butter. Remember, if you're using unsalted butter, you will need to add the salt to the flour. So I'm adding 1 cup of granulated sugar, and we're going to cream the 2 together for about 4 to 5 minutes. We're going to stop the machine halfway through the whipping time. We're going to give it a scrape. So I allowed everything to cream together for about 5 minutes. So I have here 4 large eggs at room temperature, and we're going to add the eggs one at a time. And after adding 1 egg, you're going to allow it to incorporate for about 30 seconds. So repeat that process, adding 1 egg at a time till you get all the eggs added. So I just added my last egg, and I'm just going to stop the machine and give it a scrape. And when you scrape your machine down, your bowl down, make sure you scrape towards the center bottom of your bowl as well. So a lot of sugar has a tendency to sit there. So give it 1 final mix. So now we're going to add half of our flour. So I'm adding half of the flour in. And I'm just going to mix until the flour dissolves. You don't want to overmix this. Okay, so after all the flour is dissolved, I'm going to stop the machine, give it a scrape. Now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of whole milk that's at room temperature. So it's a 1/4 cup of whole milk. And I'm using Bobba Gran's alcohol-free vanilla extract. I love this Bobba Gran's vanilla. So we're going to add I'm going to add a tablespoon. And to learn more about Bobba Gran's, you can definitely check them out in the description box. I love how fragrant this vanilla is. So that's a tablespoon. 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon. So I'm going to mix until those ingredients are dissolved. I'm going to stop the machine and pour in the rest of the flour. And then we're going to mix. And the reason why you start and end with the dry ingredients is it keeps your batter from getting weighed down too much and your cake won't come out hard. So I'm stop the machine. Everything is combined. I'm going to just give it 1 final scrape. And then I have here a 8.5 by 4.5 inch loaf pan that I've buttered and floured. And I use butter and flour because if you use baking spray, your cake will develop a unpleasant crust on the outside. It's not really noticeable, but if you really want that true bakery style pound cake, it's better to use butter and flour. So I'm giving everything a scrape and just let it mix one more time. Everything is nice and smooth. I'm using the Geek Chef stand mixer. I believe this is 4.5 quarts. It's a really small machine, but it does a lot. So let's see. So now this is going to go into a preheated 325 degree oven, and you're going to let this go for about 55 minutes to an hour and a half. Just really depends on your oven. If you're using convection, 330 with the fan on for 55 minutes to an hour and 10. So after putting everything into the pan, I want to just use my spatula to just smooth everything out. So into the oven, just go. So here's my pound cake. It took a total of 59 minutes for mine to bake, and I just used a toothpick to test to see if it came out clean. So it should come straight out of the pan because I have a pretty good pan here. I didn't have to use a butter knife to loosen the sides. It looks perfect. I'm going to go ahead and slice it so you can see what it looks like on the inside. And look at that beautiful crumb. Absolutely beautiful. And you see it's extremely moist. So this is a good close-up of the cake, and I tasted it already. It's a beautiful moist crumb, very tight, very moist and tender, full of flavor. I just love that vanilla flavor from that Mexican vanilla. So there you have it, how to make a pound cake from scratch. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the description box. Don't forget to subscribe, add this video to your playlist, and hit the thumbs up.